Algebra 2 Honors, we use a learning scale to determine where everyone in the class is. So we have these little clips that can go on the 1, 2, 3, or 4, and we take different tasks that decide whether or not we get to move on. And on the clip is just a number, so it's not like everyone in the class can see your name, but you can see, judging by how many clips are on 1, 2, 3, and 4, where everyone is and where you are compared to all your classmates. And the tasks are basically like one task would be just like a little problem or maybe one problem, and then task 2 would be like putting 2 problems together, then task 3 would be an entire test, and then 4 is like the whole chapter test, and everyone gets to move theirs up, and you get a little bit of accomplishment too, moving your clip up.
So now that they're using it as an instructional strategy, and I tell them take out their scale, initially they were like, what's a scale? I am not getting weighed, and I'm like, that's not what we're talking about. So now they're focused, but they take it out. They look at the question. If they don't understand the question, I clarify it. I give them, because they're high school, and even because they're seniors, they have the ability to modify the question to their understanding, to their knowledge. So some of the kids who are more advanced, they use it that way. So they're interacting with it. They're not just copying down. So they can make their question more specific to their needs.
Every day they answer the question and they reference the scale, because if they don't reference something specific from the scale to let me know why they're a level 1. Not that I don't care that I'm getting there, but I don't know what getting there means. I'm getting there because I can. I'm looking for all of those I can statements.
Well, first we start with their I can. Like right now we're doing I can understand that characters teach important life lessons. So we rhyme it as a class or dance it as a class. Then we go right to our learning scale. Then after the learning scale, we go into the lesson. Then after the lesson, we go back to the learning scale. Then the students will go to centers because we're ELA. During centers, we will check in, and at that time they could also move from the learning scale. They could move during groups. I mean, it's an ongoing thing in our class. It's not just you introduce it and it stays there. We're using it continuously throughout the day. So that's why, you do have this ongoing for 4 to 6 weeks depending on your unit. So you could do it whole group, you could do it centers, you could do it after you have an activity, and then you send them back to their seats to demonstrate their understanding with a partner individually. There's so many different ways that we use the scales.
But then again, it's back to the standard. We're teaching, reinforcing that standard in centers, reinforcing it in guided reading groups, and in whole group. So there's lots of different opportunities for the students, and especially for the little ones. Communication is such a big issue, trying to get them to talk, that if they're not comfortable in a whole group getting up and sharing, that I might get that answer in guided reading groups. The way that I have my students interact with the scale is through collaboration. They have to be able to work with partners and use a collaborative technique, like kind of matching picture cards. When they found their partner, then they were able to answer the questions, the key questions. In this case, it was main idea, main topic, and key details, and then be able to come up and share that out.
What is the difference between a 3 and a 4?
Well, the 4, you can explain the evidence from the text.
And what are you explaining? What lesson from the character?
The important life lesson.
Very good. And Alex, can you explain what number are you on our scale?
4.
And how did you get to a 4?
One time, I had a long sentence and I was on a 0, and then I went right to the 4. It's because I used evidence from the text.